I want to invite Felicia to take the stage and take us through the session. Welcome, Felicia.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, you're clear and your slides are beautiful.
Thank
Welcome.
you. Can I? That's good enough.
Yeah, you just start by introducing yourself,
Sure.
and then from there you take us through the session for today.
Okay. So my name is Felicia Muriuki. I'm a personal finance coach. I'm grateful that you showed up today for this session. I get to inspire and instill hope to individuals and couples to begin working on their finances, and just so that they can begin winning with money. And that's what today's session will be about. How can we do better and win with money? Yeah. So that's the topic. So we need to dream, we need to plan, and we need to act. And my desire that by the end of this session, you will be able to just at least take one thing away in what you're going to do to act towards your journey towards financial freedom, and just better understand what can I do today that'll make me get closer to what I plan for myself. So a quick one, if you could just go to the chat group and answer this question. In the chat, what's the most important to you in this season? Is it paying off debt? Is it saving for a home? Is it starting an emergency fund? Or is it living away from that paycheck to paycheck thing, reducing the stress in your life? Is it starting to budget or figuring how to increase your income? I think a part of somebody here may say all of them, but just choose one. What's important for you in this season? Let's see what you're saying in the chat. Just take a minute and let me see who's in the room. Any thoughts? Okay, let's see what's. So financial literacy is where I am. Thank you for that. Figuring out how to increase my finances, my income. Great. Stop living paycheck to paycheck. Absolutely. Just increasing stability. Yeah, thank you for those answers. You can just continue putting some of those as we go. But what we realize in managing our finances, how we handle our money is 80% behavior and 20% math. Why we say that is because we come from different homes, we come from different backgrounds, and we have different tendencies. And those really influence how we behave with money. What we've seen, what we've caught in our homes is exactly what we're going to do, or sometimes we go completely opposite and we do opposite to what our parents did because we don't like how that felt. There was a lot of stress associated with that. What we know is that people who decide to act and get intentional with their money end up exactly where they need to end up on their journey. So usually we complain and say, well, it could be something to do with, I'm not so good with math. But the marking scheme in this thing is not dependent on math. And with these days, we have technology which can help us with that. So we need to really focus on behavior. Why do we behave the way that we do with our money? Frederick Matthews here says, people do not decide their futures, they decide their habits. And their habits decide their futures. So how we behave with money is so important. And as Dave Ramsey usually says, you can wander into debt, but getting out of debt, you have to be so intentional about it. And also somebody called John Maxwell says, you need to tell your money where to go, so you're not left wondering, where did my money go? It's our behavior that we need to look at. So Let's go here. So let's talk about our money tendencies. We each have money tendencies that I said come from the homes that we grew up in, things that we saw an uncle or an auntie and how they behave. So these tendencies and how we deal with money is very important. Self-awareness is most important. So this is not either or, it's usually a scale. You could be closer to your saver, but have a little bit of more tendencies, and one could be more dominant than the other. So the saver is the one who prefers to tuck away money. They're good at saving. And the other one, the spender, has no issues with spending money. There's usually a misconception that the spender is also very reckless with money, but this may not be true. There may be a person who puts money aside and then at the end of the day spends it without any guilt. The extreme of that is possibly where they are broke because they're forever spending and not saving. So they need, between the spend and saver, just know the motivation. Yeah. Then there's the nerd and the free spirit. The nerd is a person who loves numbers. They have their spreadsheet. By now they've already done their taxes and they're comfortable there. The free spirit is very happy-go-lucky. May not remember when tax time is and always running to meet those deadlines. So this kind of person, the nerd, can be very unforgiving sometimes when it comes to very legalistic. So we need to be careful with those extreme kind of tendencies. Then there's a person who likes to experiences, spend their money on experiences. They're the ones who loves to go on holidays, go to the Mara or book an Airbnb and thank kusema asante to the body. The other one who likes things, would go and buy 5 shoes, same shoe, different color, jewelry, but they're interested how they spend. They prefer to buy things rather than experiences. Then there's a person who likes quality over quantity. The one with quality will really shop and will buy one thing, but of very high quality. The one with quantity is, they'll go and they'll shop for more things. The same example, like 5 shoes of the same color or different handbags for different seasons or things like that. Then there's a person who is more cautious with their money. They see their money as something of safety. They prefer to have money in the bank, and they can be hoarders in a sense, but they're wise in the way they associate money with safety. And while the person with looking for money with status has a tendency to buy the bling, have the nice car, and it becomes a status symbol. So having money provides peace of mind for the person who is a safety oriented, while the one with status is a bit showy. So we need to just remember money is a tool, and it should not really define our identity, as it were. And then there's a person who, a mindset of abundance, and the other one sees things as half full, and the other person sees things with an eye of scarcity. So just to be careful, what am I basing what I have on, and what is my identity really tied in this? And then the other tendency is the planned giver and the spontaneous giver. The planned giver already decides how much am I, for example, going to tithe. How much am I planning to give? If I find somebody on the street, am I giving them money? Am I not? And if they're planning to give money, they put money aside for them. The spontaneous giver could almost take the shirt off their back and give the person on the street, or even just they're very happy-go-lucky. That could be that sanguine who is very spontaneous in their giving. They're not necessarily planned. So it would be interesting to hear again, what kind of tendency do you see yourself in? Any of these tendencies? Yes, I can share the slides, Marianne. Yeah, after the session. Any thoughts on the tendencies? You can just put them on the group chat. Do you see yourself in any of these? And for sure, there is no good or bad tendencies. The challenge always with these things is how the extremes and just being aware of where you are. So here comes the part where we begin to dream. And determining your destination is important, because then it's like when you have a goal, you know where you're going and what are the milestones along the way. So one of the statistics, I came across this statistics that says at retirement, 49% of people are dependent on their children and their family. They don't have a way to support themselves apart from this. And sorry, oh, I think I made a mistake there. Now I'm going to have to see, how do I get out of here? I stop sharing and go back. Lucy, can you help me there?
Is there something wrong with what you have on the screen?
Can you, what do you have on your screen? I have all the people's faces rather than their presentation.
Oh, then stop sharing and whatever, and share
Okay.
again.
Okay, let me do that. Sorry about that. Tell me if it comes on again.
Not yet. Okay, just a minute.
Okay, great. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
be
up.
careful. I'm trying to reduce the stock one. Okay, so sorry, let's go. So in terms of 49% of the people are dependent on their children and their families during retirement. And I think we've seen a lot of this. People go shags and yeah, you're sending M-Pesa and all. So if somebody calls you, to me it's such and such amount. And that's part of our norm, I guess. And then 29% of people have either passed away, and then 12% are broke. Once in a while, they have a little thing they're doing, but it doesn't quite meet their budget as it was, their living expenses. 5% of people are working. They have to continue working past retirement to earn a living to be able to support themselves. And then only 4% are actually financially independent. They're able to support themselves and able to do what they had planned to do. And only a mere 1% is considered rich. It's important to know and to think, where is it that I want to be when I retire? And what will that look like? And which category of this, apart from being dead after retirement, which category would I want to be in? So for this to happen, what has to be true now, that at the end of the day, I'm landing as a person who, one of the 4%, at least, I'm financially independent. I'm even able to help somebody else. Stephen Covey puts it this way, that we need to start with the end in mind, is what he says. And one of the things about individuals and married couples is that money matters cause a lot of stress in homes. It's a big cause of even divorce in homes if this we do not address. So yeah, we need to dream. Somebody called Dr. John Deloney talks about money stress as a smoke signal. It's telling you something, there's fire somewhere and you need to attend to it. And how this shows up in our body is, yes, stress, it's illnesses, it's lack of sleep, it's fighting without, what is it that we are really fighting about? So, and we end up sometimes blaming government, we blame our upbringing, poor choices, and lack of knowledge. But we need to take a breath in and see, yeah, granted, all these things are going on. However, we need to start changing the script and saying, what can I do now to make that thing that I want a reality, not get stuck in the scripts. And so if money were not an object, we need to stop and think, if money were not an object, what would my retirement look like? Would it look like, yes, we own our own home, our kids are going to school, we're able to support them through high school and maybe help them pay for university. Does it look like me contributing my time and around somewhere that I don't necessarily get paid for it, but brings me a lot of fulfillment? What does that look like? And we need to define that. So this is, I'm grateful for the GPS that we have on our phones and things that you can plug in your destination and say, this is where I'm going. But if you don't plug into what am I going, where do I plan to go, then you may not go end up where you think you want to end up. And with GPS, sometimes you get a Panya route, you know, sometimes you know a better route to go there. So you define it and it changes. But just being aware and being flexible is one of the things we need to do. So yeah, how do we bridge that gap now from where I am now to where I want to go? So Tim Fargo says, who you are tomorrow begins with what you do today. And that's important. It's crucial that then we have a plan. So a plan, step one should be get your plans clear, write it down so that you do not feel lost. If you feel lost, you look back at your GPS and say, where am I now? Which is this milestone? How can I recalibrate to go to where I want? And staying flexible. Some roads, not Maram, they have bumps. Yeah, be adaptable. And then you have to monitor your progress. How far am I from where I need to be? Yeah. So to actually win with money, we know that we need a budget. A budget is finding out what income is coming in and what expenses is going out. Sometimes the problem we have with our budgets, it's not so much, it's a lot of the times there's not enough income coming in. So when somebody said, yeah, I need more income to come in, it's because you have bigger dreams, you want to go somewhere and you need more income coming in. So when we talk to Lucy here and said, what other kind of side hustles can you do to allow more income to come in? There's a lot of resource in Gen. So plug into some of those resources to see what are other people doing? What can I also do with the little time that I have and make it work for me? Manage your expenses. And what are those expenses? It's about prioritizing. We talk about the 4 walls, your food, rent, utilities, and transport. Make sure those are covered. Those are your basic needs. And then medicine and your school fees. And the important part that we tend to miss out is tracking our expenses. So while your income is your highest, is your most important wealth building tool, how you then use it and with prioritized needs helps you not save a little bit more so that it can go further for you. We really need to track our money. When it came to tracking my money, one of my mentors said I needed to keep a book. So I used to carry this small book with me where I write all my expenses. And so my daughter asks me, what are these expenses? What is this book? And then I told her, this one is my rich girl's book. As soon as I know what I'm writing in and I can calibrate where it is that I want to be, that it helps you be conscious of how you're using your money so that you can do better with it. Without tracking your money, you'll begin to wonder, where did my money go? Then yes, we map out baby steps. Where am I in relation to where I want to go? And have a really strong why. Why am I doing this? Why is my motivation? Not just to amass money, but what dreams do you have? That's why we started with a dream. You have to have a dream so that you know exactly where you're going. Otherwise, it can take you anywhere, right? So why budget? We budget because then we can do better with money. We also budget to have more control of how our money is working for us. We give ourselves a raise because when we realize, hey, how much am I paying for Fuliza? How much am I paying for M-Pesa transfer? How much does it cost me to actually go for that cup of tea? I do not so much a month, or the lunch I'm not carrying to the office. I'm using how much money? Then you begin to manage, and then you give yourself a raise even without asking, because you're being wiser with the money that you have. And money is active, it's always moving. And actually, most the people who are managing their money better than those who are not. So you'll be paying a mama mboga there thinking, oh my, she just has a, but that mama mboga is really making her money and is really looking after her money well. And also it's really impossible to win with money if you do not budget or tell it where to go. I must say, I played cash flow with the people who work for me, and it was very interesting seeing even how they rationalize how to spend their money. And the people who get out of the rat race are actually the people who focus, whatever little they have, they're very intentional. So it's about being intentional with our money. The next, money also helps us to prepare for unexpected expenses and emergencies, so that then it's not a crisis, but you have money set aside. You get, your house is broken into, or you need new tires, you begin to save, go to your emergency fund, and you're able to fund it. So it's not a crisis, but it is, because life happens. So you're putting contingencies to make sure that happens. And managed money goes further. That living from paycheck to paycheck, yeah, it's a crisis. COVID taught us well that you have to save, you have to prepare for down the road. And once you get on the same page with your spouse, when you're married, because you have a budget and all, it also makes you talk about your money. It reduces the anxiety around this, because you're planning it and placing it in a way that you can talk. It also removes guilt and shame. When, what do I need to buy where? As long as you're saving for the thing, there's no shame in going to buy that TV or that whatever shoe when you know that you saved for it for a long time, and this is what then I need to do. The last point there, that it's impossible to win without money, for sure. We say that already. And also to get rid of debt and any overdue or overdrafts. I think what debt does, it gives us the illusion that we'll always have money, we have a job, we have these things. But when those things go away, it can bring a lot of stress. So we can't make those assumptions of what happens down the road. So let's talk about baby steps, because this is what it'll take to get into financial freedom. First, we talk about, we need an emergency fund. We're very quick, I think, in this country to invest. And investment is excellent, and we need to get there. But we first need to start with an emergency fund. Not so much calling Harambe every time we get a crisis, because we do that and it's good to contribute to the ones that you plan to, but begin to put an emergency fund for yourself in place. That's a margin so that everything is not a crisis, and so that you can even help other people down the road. But once you put an emergency fund, many of us do not have even 20,000, 50,000 stashed away for an emergency, and we really need to have that. We also need to pay off our debt. What debt does, it robs us of all of sometimes a capacity to think. I'm trying to see what is the chart. Okay. Oh, thank you. I've seen some people here saying I'm a saver. Yeah, thank you for that. We need an emergency fund, and then secondly, we need to pay off debt so that we're not somebody's not always knocking on our door asking us to pay debt, and it brings along some stress if we do not manage our debt well. So we're trying to put a lot of margin between us and the stress and the anxiety that goes along with having debt and people owing people money. After we finish building an emergency fund and paying off our debt, and how we pay off our debt, we start with the smallest one. This is called snowball, from the smallest one to the largest one. The idea is that whatever we get momentum by paying the small one, then we go to a bigger one and the bigger one. So you list all your debts, and each month you're paying off your debts until they're completely gone. And then please do not go back into debt. And then after you finish paying your debt, you save 3 to 6 months of expenses in a fully funded emergency fund. If you have a job, you can start with 3 months, if you have a consistent job. But if you do not have a consistent job, we're going to aim for 6 months expenses, fully funded emergency fund. And that really then buffers you and gives you enough space for the next season when you start investing. That's when investment comes. Investment comes once you have that emergency fund in place. I think we usually turn that around. We want to invest first before having a fund. So after that, you save for your children's college, or you save for high school. We're not forgetting that there's a budget going on saying school fees so much every month that you're saving towards that, because we know school fees comes at the beginning of the term. Christmas comes in December, Madaraka Day will just pass. We know those dates. So as much as we put everything on our calendar, we're also looking forward to saving for those beforehand. So, and then many of us would love to own our own homes. So when you start paying for your home, you pay for it as quickly as possible. So you're not paying, the bank is not remaining, or your mortgage company is not remaining with most of your money. But you are in charge of when you pay that, and you pay it as early as you can. So as when you're retiring, you don't have to keep thinking about, how am I paying for this home? Some of us may choose not to buy a home, but continue renting. Do you have enough money to do that? And then, yeah, you build wealth and give. Giving is one of those principles that is amazing. I think when you give, it does come back. I have a friend, she really challenged me in saying she wants to be able to give 1 million a month to the church as part of her tithe. And it's fascinating to see how, even in doing that and working hard to do that, God can bless you in that sense, give you ideas, and be able to build wealth, not just to hoard it, but to be able to even bless others. Okay, so what now? After all that, you have your big ideas, aerial view, and saying, this is my big plan. I want to be able to save money. I want to be able to pay my debt. I want to be able to have a fully funded emergency fund. And then I go into investing, buying a home, helping children go to college. Anything worth doing is worth doing poorly until you learn how to do it well. And that's so important, because sometimes we get a script in our heads. It's like, I'm not doing this well. So trying to get perfection, but we're not really looking for perfection. We're looking for just start, as poorly, as wrongly, as everything as possible. Just start doing what you know to do. But when you have a plan, at least you know what to start with, and the next thing, and the next thing. So one of the things that I would want to say is, act on what you've heard, set up a budget, list out what are all my expenses, and what are all my incoming money from the jobs I'm doing, from the side hustles, from whatever gifts, all that. You put it into your budget, minus all the expenses, and start balancing that. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. What fits what? What do I need to reduce? How do I spend my money that I have for food? Is that when I'm buying groceries? How do I organize my eating so that I'm spending less? Can I carry sandwiches to work? Can I skip something so that I can have more money that I can use for something else? The other thing is always to skill up, seek out the knowledge. There's so much on YouTube that you could watch. There's so many talks and free sessions like this ones. Where do I invest my money? How do I afford to buy a piece of land? I think one of the things, if I can just say, that brought me full circle to this journey is, I was sitting at a bazaar's office one day, and yeah, the school fees was late. That's how I ended up there. And I kept wondering, how are people affording this kind of school fees, this kind of school? And you realize people have side hustles. I didn't have a side hustle at the time. People have cracked it. They have circles, they have this, they have chamas. And what is it that people are doing? And we don't talk to each other. We do not give each other insights. So it's important to listen, to seek it out. one of the things we went to was couples and money, and beginning to hear what are these principles. This is a 10-week course with Nairobi Chapel, Mavuno, and Pastor M and Carol. And what they did is just going through what do couples fight most about? It's money, and trying to give skills and tools of how to manage that, and going on dates. Financial Peace University was run by the Ramsey, and just look for the tools. They're really out there. It's worth paying for. It's better than foolish tax that we pay every time we make money mistakes, and I have made enough of them. And then begin to get accountability. How can I do better with money? Does my spouse know what I'm doing with money? If I'm surprising him with a car which he never saw me saving for, that's could be a bit of a problem. But yes, let's get accountability. We need to read and listen to different podcasts. Mixing God with Money is a good book by Dennis Tongoi, and Total Money Makeover, Dave Ramsey, The Psychology of Money, and even the book of Proverbs in the Bible is so. Every chapter of that book has lessons on money. So we're not lacking on that, but we need to act on it. Yeah, thank you for the time. I'm happy to take some questions and some thoughts on this. You can reach me on, let's see, my contacts are here, my phone number. You can book time for just to talk, a discovery call, and see if we're a good fit for financial coaching. I'm open to hear from you. But yeah, thank you for your time. Just be happy to take any questions you have, and let's discuss.
Fantastic, fantastic session. Let's all give a clap, a thumbs up, a heart to our speaker today. That was fantastic. Very many lessons learned there on how to manage our money. And it all starts with our mindset, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? That was a beautiful,
Yes.
beautiful presentation. Questions, please post them in the comment section, or alternatively put up your hand so that you can be given a chance to speak. Kindly, your questions.
Yes. Hi, Winnie. Yeah. Go ahead.
Hey Felicia, how are you?
Good, good.
Yes, I am nice to see you here, and thank you for the presentation.
Yeah.
So I just have one question, and it was under the 7 baby steps.
Yeah.
Do you need to wait to build wealth to give? Because I thought we really should give throughout the season. I mean, yeah.
Absolutely. That's a really good question. I think one of the things I can share a template on a budget. One of the things with a budget, the first thing you do is give, actually, is my experience. You give your 10% to church, to charity.
Yes.
Yeah. So you give that amount. The reason why we talk about the 7th baby step is be very generous. It's because that season where you're managing your debt and things, you have to be very careful in all, I don't want to call it leaking, but all the leaking places in your budget. You will be very generous. I don't know, there are those spontaneous givers. And while it is good to give, you can give even the school fees to somebody who is they're in need, and yet you have not paid the debt, yet you have not put food on the table, in the home. So that's a giving I'm talking about, not the 10% that you give to church. Actually, the principle of giving, it works. Even when we play cash flow, the thing with it, you notice as soon as you end up in a charity section and you begin to give, there is a certain speed and ease that comes. And also it makes you realize it's humbling to be able to do that, and fulfilling to give. So yeah, we give throughout. Yeah. It's just how we do not do it in a way that hurts even our budgets and things. We need to be conscious about that. Thanks.
Well, there's a comment there by Nicholas.
Nicholas is asking, kindly share last slide on areas to get more info on. So the last slide was about, sorry. So yes, you can reach me on that phone number, or just on Calendly. You can book some time, half an hour or so free, and we can just talk about how I can be of help, further help to you.
I think he's also talking about this other slide. Yes, this one.
Yeah. So act on what you had. Yeah. Skill up, get accountability. Some of the books, I can share some podcasts which are helpful. Yeah, just reach out.
Yeah, and in addition, this particular presentation will be uploaded onto the YouTube channel. I've given the link to the YouTube channel there in the comment, and the same will also be sent on email. It will also be shared on all the WhatsApp groups, so that we can have more viewership for this. So it will, but within the next 2 days, by Thursday, you should get that on email. Yeah.
Anything else? Marianne, you'd like a template on, yeah, I can organize that. If you can share your email, I would be happy to share on that. But I think one of the things with personal finance, it's too personal sometimes, and you suffer alone. But so many people have cracked this thing, and it would be a great shame to it's hiding really in our pain. Yet there are solutions out there. A simple, how do I draw up a budget? Every month is different. So just getting a little help in what works for other people. How do I get out of debt and stay out of debt? Stop fulizaing. Even when we play cash flow, because I'm open to booking time to play board games, because there's a lot of lessons when you're playing cash flow, or act your wage, because that's something else we don't do. Act our wage. We looking at the other side and thinking the grass is greener on that side, but yeah, they could be growing their lawn on manure, or it could be an astroturf for all we know, and you're trying to be like them, but you don't know their story. They could be owning the nice car they're driving. Maybe it's not theirs. Many of the cars on the road really belongs to the bank. But yeah, don't run your own race. Determine where is it I want to go, and depending on the baby step that you are, if you don't have an emergency fund, that becomes the thing that you run for. You set up that emergency fund. The next thing, do your debt, get rid of that debt, and then the next step, save some more and have a nest egg. But you don't just keep the money in the bank, you make it work for you. And the other thing we can talk about is there are people here who do insurance, there are others who sell cars. Get the best deal for your money. But even, do you have a will? Do you have their legacy issues? So there's a lot that goes on into this. I'd love to spend time, book some time, and we can talk some more. But yeah, grateful for you showing up.
Thanks for that response, Felicia. In fact, one thing I was thinking about is that now that we are meeting next week for breakfast, we can always take some time to play the cash flow board game.
Yeah, sure.
How long does it take? Is it 30 minutes, 1 hour?
Yeah. If we take an hour, we'll want 2 hours. So we'll just we'll make sure it's time bound. And yeah, we can play a quick one. But yeah, it opens up the minds how to budget, then how to invest, and just see your tendencies there. It's very interesting seeing people's tendencies. Yeah.
Okay, we'll give it more time. So there'll be next week we'll have a short sales talk, which may be 30 minutes, and then use 1.5 hours, 90 minutes for the board game. And so the breakfast is usually between 8:30 and 11. So, and then we'll have definitely sessions where we can exchange ideas, where everybody can speak. So what we'll do is, allocate more time for the board game. And I'm sure these lessons you are teaching us today will be more, because it will be hands-on.
Practical.
It will be very practical. Yeah. So
Yeah,
we'll share
thank
the
you.
link. Yes, we'll share the link on how you can register for the breakfast, and so that you can have some fun playing the board games. Yeah, fantastic. Any other question? I can see Beatrice saying good presentation, thank you. And
Thanks, Beatrice.
also Lydia Joroge, insightful presentation and authentic experience sharing. Wow.
Thanks, Lydia.
Yeah, David has given his contact there. You can share more information. I think he had requested for
a budget template.
Yes. Oh yeah, sure. A budget template. Yeah, sure. Wow. Any other comment, question? Put up your hand. Lydia, I can see you put yes. Tell us more.
So sorry, I think I may have pressed it by error, but thank you so much for sharing.
Thanks, Lydia.
And I look forward to getting more details about next week's breakfast meeting. I would want to be part of the game. Thank you.
Wow.
Excellent. Very well.
Yeah, we'll give them. You're in the WhatsApp group. If not yet, we are going to share the flyer in the WhatsApp group and also on email. Every one of us here is on email as well, so we'll be able to share on email. We have Beatrice.
When we come, that's free cash flow.
Yes, and Beatrice is also saying share the template for the budget.
Yeah.
And also, awesome, yes. Yeah. Fantastic. Any other comment, question? Let's open our mics. Wow, it's been a fantastic morning. Learning, learning, and learning. Remember, there's never an end to learning. And the more you interact with people, the more you dial in for these particular sessions, the more you pick a lot of learnings that you can implement in both your personal life, in your business, or even someone you're trying to help. There's a lot we discuss with the speakers. So if we don't have any further questions, no comments.
I see Mary Ann is asking, is Hustler Fund any better? Sorry, where did it go? Even though one is forced to save. I think one of the things you learn is, why are you saving? And is it the best vehicle to save? There's many behind this homework you need to do before you just enter any saving. So savings are good. I think the thing, as you said, it is better to do something imperfectly until you get it right. So we're not looking for perfection, just start. And then when you know better, you do better. Yeah, that's what I would say to that.
It's true. You can never build something to perfection. It starts somewhere with what you have and you keep building on it, right? Yes. And that's what I think our speaker Felicia is telling us today. Start. Whatever you have in mind, just start. If it's a business, if it's that personal saving, you want to start, just take an Excel sheet. Start typing what it is you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go? Just keep writing it there and keep modifying as you go along. And and as you join these particular sessions, you learn more from people, what has worked for them, and you borrow those ideas. Yeah. Cindy is saying, hello, I have joined late, but despite this, I have taken in the concept of emergency fund. Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Cindy, for that. Okay, any other comment? All right, it's been a wonderful morning. I think we can close now. It's been a beautiful morning, definitely, with all the lessons learned. And there's more to learn. Let's keep in touch. Join the WhatsApp group. The link is right there. The email is coming within the next 24 hours by Thursday or even by tomorrow. You'll get that particular link for the YouTube channel that where this will be uploaded with the particular link, so that you can watch. For those who joined late, you can watch now from the beginning. And let's keep having these conversations every Tuesday morning. It's online, but the second Tuesday is usually physical, and we will be sending the flyer. It's physical breakfast session, and we'll be sending the flyer after this session. And as you heard, for next week, we'll take some more time to play some board games with investments, with budgeting, and Felicia will facilitate that particular session so that we can all now put what we've learned today into practice, right? So thank you so much for joining. I want to bring this to a close. Have a good day, good week ahead, and keep checking your WhatsApp group, your email. Let's keep the conversation going. If you have any questions, you can just shoot the questions even on email, on WhatsApp, so that we can keep the conversation going. It's important, as I said, a global entrepreneurship network is for supporting one another personally, business-wise. We are here to grow one another and to support each other. All right. Hoping it's a Saturday morning for those working. Well, it's usually on a Tuesday morning. The ones that come on Saturday mornings are quarterly. They are called Books and Choma Fest. The next one will be in August on a Saturday, 16th. That one is where we discuss about our writing, our storytelling, our poems, if you have ever thought about writing a book, why are you hesitant? If you have written a book, what is it all about? So that is on 16th of August, and it comes quarterly. We had another one in April. But for Tuesdays, it's usually, for breakfast, are usually on Tuesday morning. So Marianne, it will be on Tuesday morning, which is next week, on Tuesday. I think it's 10th, right? 10th of June, so it will be in the morning. You can take an off for just up to 11. Wow, Miriam is saying I'm literally in the middle of a book, pinning that, thanks. Yes, that is 16th of August. It will be a good session. We speak just about books, reading, writing, poems, poetry, listen to publishers, listen to authors, listen to aspiring writers, and it's usually a very interesting session. And then you're allowed to come with your book, the one you've written, so that you can also sell it there. Okay. Again, that is coming up shortly. We will be sharing more information again on email and also on WhatsApp. Yes, 16th of August is a Saturday. Boardroom game is next week. It's next week on Tuesday. Yeah? Oh, you're requesting whether we can have the board.
No, I'm saying maybe on that day we can also have board games going on.
Oh yes,
we can
still do it again. Yes, in August, because after doing it in June, remember there's July and then there's August, so it will be a whole 2-month break. We can still do it again in August. So we'll do it next week and do it in August.
We'll have a tent just for that.
Yes, you can have a session. We'll organize in a way. We'll all organize together and have it. We play together. Fantastic. This is becoming exciting. So let's keep the connection going. Let's keep talking, share questions, share ideas. And definitely we'll build a business. You make money with your book, the one you'll be writing, you make money with the business that you're running, you'll make money by collaborating, getting your referrals from the community, and as we go on. It's every Tuesday morning. All right, so let me bring this to a close. It's been a fantastic morning. I wish you all the best for the rest of the week. Keep checking the WhatsApp, the emails, and let's keep the conversation going. Otherwise, it's a goodbye for now. Have a lovely day.
Bye. Good day.
Good day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.